It was a peculiar night, a night that now lingers in the recesses of my memory, haunting my every thought. The clock struck midnight, and an eerie stillness enveloped the room as I found myself in the company of a forgotten Ouija board. The air felt charged with an unspoken energy, and the cryptic messages etched on the board seemed to beckon me into the unknown. I was alone, driven by an inexplicable curiosity that overcame any rational hesitation. The planchette moved with a life of its own, gliding over the letters to form messages that, though unsettling, held a strange allure. The room dimly lit, I found myself entranced by the otherworldly force at play. The entity identified itself as a lost soul, a being consumed by a thirst for revenge that echoed through the ethereal plane. As I continued to communicate, the connection between this vengeful spirit and myself deepened, its influence gradually seeping into my very core. I became a vessel, a conduit for its malevolence. The spirit's stories unfolded like a sinister narrative, and with each passing moment, I could feel its anger and resentment coursing through me. It was as if a malevolent force had chosen me as its instrument, and I, in turn, was powerless to resist. As the night progressed, the sinister energy grew stronger, manifesting in unsettling occurrences. Objects moved of their own accord, shadows danced with an unnatural glee, and an icy chill pervaded the air. The once familiar surroundings morphed into a realm of dread, and I found myself caught in a nightmarish descent. The malevolent force within me sought to wreak havoc on those around me, and I became an unwitting agent of terror. Friends and family began to sense the palpable unease, and whispers of an otherworldly presence circulated like a chilling breeze. In moments of clarity, I attempted to sever the connection with the vengeful spirit, but its grip on my very soul proved unyielding. The line between my own identity and the entity's influence blurred, and I grappled with a growing sense of dread that accompanied me like a shadow. The relentless descent into darkness reached its peak when the spirit's vengeful intentions manifested in the physical realm. Unexplained accidents, ominous symbols etched in unusual places, and an overwhelming atmosphere of fear became the harbingers of an impending reckoning. Haunted by the malevolent force that had taken residence within me, I struggled to reclaim control of my own destiny. The line between the supernatural and the tangible became indistinguishable, and the chilling reality of my situation unfolded in a series of inexplicable events. The Ouija board, once a forgotten artifact, had become a conduit for an otherworldly force that manipulated my very existence. The sinister messages, the trance-like connection, and the ensuing wave of terror that unfolded were not just a product of my imagination, they were the grim consequences of a dalliance with forces beyond comprehension. In the end, the whispers of the Ouija board faded into the abyss, leaving behind a wake of fear and uncertainty. The malevolent spirit, having exacted its revenge through my unwitting participation, retreated to the shadows from whence it came, leaving me to grapple with the haunting aftermath of that fateful night. It was a somber afternoon when I stumbled upon an antique photograph album in the dusty confines of an old estate sale. The album, adorned with faded leather and adorned with intricate patterns, seemed to beckon me with an inexplicable allure. Little did I know that this seemingly innocuous relic would become the harbinger of my darkest nightmares. As I delicately opened the album, its pages revealed a collection of aged photographs, each depicting moments from my future. The images were unnervingly vivid, showcasing scenes of my own demise in chilling detail. A sense of dread settled over me as I realized that these snapshots foretold a grim fate that awaited me. Desperation seized my senses, and an insatiable need to alter the course of destiny consumed me. Clinging to the slim hope that change was possible, I embarked on a harrowing journey to defy the ominous images within the cursed album. In a dimly lit room, surrounded by the haunting echoes of my own fear, I meticulously studied each photograph. The faces, the settings, the subtle details, they all held clues to the impending tragedies that awaited me. Armed with a fervent determination to rewrite my fate, I began the daunting task of altering the pictures. However, with each attempt to defy destiny, the consequences unfolded in nightmarish fashion. The more I sought to change the course of events, the more the images in the album morphed into grotesque scenes of even greater horror. It was as though the very fabric of reality resisted my attempts to escape the inevitable. The once ordinary photographs now mirrored a macabre theater of my own demise. Every tweak, every adjustment I made to alter the future only served to intensify the horror, ensnaring me in a nightmarish loop of inescapable doom. The more I struggled against the inexorable pull of fate, the tighter its grip became. The photographs, once static reminders of a foretold destiny, now seemed to mock my futile attempts at intervention. The curse woven into the fabric of the album manifested with a relentless malevolence, ensuring that every altered image led to a cascade of horrors, each more grotesque than the last. The sense of inevitability hung heavy in the air, and I found myself trapped in a twisted reality of my own making. The cursed album became a cruel mirror reflecting not only the darkness within its pages but also the futility of my attempts to break free from its clutches. Haunted by the ever-escalating visions of my own demise, I became a prisoner of time, a puppet ensnared in the strings of a malevolent force beyond my comprehension. The cursed album, a silent witness to my futile struggle, seemed to revel in the perverse dance between destiny and despair. In the end, as I gazed upon the now mangled photographs, I realized the bitter truth. I was entangled in a web of my own making, and the more I tried to alter the threads of fate, the tighter they constricted around me. The cursed album, a relic of unfathomable darkness, had ensnared me in a nightmarish loop from which there was no escape, leaving me to confront the inevitability of the gruesome destiny that awaited. It was a quaint village, nestled in the embrace of time-worn cobblestone streets and rustic cottages that stood as silent witnesses to centuries gone by. In the heart of the village square, a weathered well, its stones aged by the passage of time, harbored a secret that cast a pall of dread over the once charming surroundings. Drawn by inexplicable force, I found myself standing before the ancient well. Whispers, like ethereal tendrils, curled up from its depths, beckoning me to peer into the darkness within. As I gazed into the abyss, an unsettling sensation gripped my very soul, and the realization dawned that this well held a malevolent spirit, an entity hungry for sacrifice. Unbeknownst to me, the whispers were not mere echoes of the wind, but the insidious demands of the spirit dwelling within the well. A darkness that had lain dormant for centuries, now stirred by my unwitting presence, hungering for a piece of my very essence. In a moment of vulnerability, captivated by the haunting allure of the whispers, I offered a fragment of my soul to the unseen force within the well. The air thickened with an ominous energy, and I felt a shiver run down my spine as I became tethered to the malevolent spirit's insatiable appetite. The consequences of my unwitting pact soon revealed themselves as the well thirsted for more. The once idyllic village began to transform, shadows lengthening and the atmosphere heavy with an unnatural stillness. The boundary between the living and the dead began to blur, and a sinister presence loomed over the village square. The sacrifices demanded by the well were not limited to the tangible, they extended into the realm of the intangible, relationships strained, joy replaced by an unrelenting sorrow, and a pervasive darkness settling over the village like a suffocating fog. The malevolent spirit's insidious influence spread, twisting the fabric of reality itself. As the well's hunger intensified, its demands grew more insatiable. The once thriving community now lived in perpetual fear, haunted by the spectral echoes of a world that had slipped beyond the veil. The living became mere vessels, unwittingly ensnared in the malevolent dance between the mortal and the ethereal. The village square, once a gathering place for laughter and shared stories, transformed into a desolate arena where the boundaries of life and death collided. Shadows cast by an unseen force danced on the cobblestone streets, and the well's dark secret cast an ever-deepening shadow over the once hospitable surroundings. Desperation seized the hearts of those who remained, for the malevolent spirit demanded not only sacrifices, but the very essence of their humanity. The well, now a conduit between worlds, served as a portal through which the ethereal and corporeal intertwined in a ghastly embrace. The village became a ghostly tableau, a haunting reflection of the price paid for meddling with forces beyond mortal comprehension. As the well thirsted for more, it seemed that the veil separating the living and the dead would forever remain tenuous, a chilling reminder of the irreversible consequences of an unwitting pact with a malevolent spirit lurking in the shadows of time.